Hey, morning guys, Match and Trade here. Today is Wednesday, the 19th of February. Yesterday, I kind of went against my favorite stock of all time for this year, Palantir. And I'm going to run through kind of why I really shouldn't have done that. Never ever, guys, dismiss your Valentine stock just because there's temptation, for another really great stock to trade. Stick with your Valentine stock if it never lets you down. So that's kind of, something I want to kind of share with you today. So obviously it's not too bad because it's an options play, so I can hold it until today, and hopefully with conviction it will go the right direction. Otherwise I'll have to stop out. But yeah, I missed a really good trade with Palantir yesterday because I was kind of seduced to go with another trade with another stock. So I'll run into the charts with you today, and as the title suggests, chart with me. So today we're going to chart some of the most popular stocks that people trade. Day traders trade a lot, and a lot of institutions like to buy up and trade also. So they're full of volume, full of liquidity, so you can get in and out of them very easily at good prices. Because don't forget, how brokers make their money is through the prices they give you. So obviously if you have a tighter bid and ask spread, then that's where you will get the best bang for your buck. So if it's a stock with, less volume, less traders, less liquidity, the bid and ask spread will be a lot wider. And so, that's where brokerage will make, most of their profits. So with the trades that I give, they're either going to be these top notch, top stocks to trade with loads of liquidity in and out every single day, and also penny stocks. Penny stocks will be like squeeze plays. So again, that'll be also a really great stock to trade, because there's plenty of liquidity in penny stocks, depending which one is kind of exploding on the day. So anyway, let's get straight into the charts, guys. So chart with me today, Wednesday the 19th of February. Hope you have a great trade today, wherever it is you are. As I say, my channel is for entertainment purposes only. So let's compare and share. Back into the charts, guys. Okay, guys, so here we are in the charts for today. The first thing to really mention is that when you're trading, it's always good to know what the S&P 500 is doing for the day. So when you're charting, try to have that, also on a screen somewhere, that you can see what the S&P 500 is showing you, so that you have an understanding of is it a slow day, fast day? Are we chopping and chopping basically in a chop fest and not going anywhere really, and just going sideways for hours and hours until the trading day ends. Normally, even though you can range within a day, there is such a thing which is called the power hour at the end of each day, where if a stock is going to explode, it will, and if it's going to plummet, it will. So that's the power hour, the last hour of the trading day. And as I say, it's the New York Stock Exchange that we trade, so it's regular hours. New York opens that would be 9 a.m. Eastern time, which in the UK equates to about 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the afternoon. I avoid 9 o'clock because obviously it's extremely volatile, so I normally jump in about 9:30. So about 2:30 UK time it's open, and then it closes about 4 p.m. UK time, which is about 5 o'clock over in the US. So anyway, so the first thing to do is always have a look at the SPY. As you can see on the 4-hour chart we have up, if I hide all of this, guys, you can see that what I have here are Bollinger Bands in white. So I was mentioning about Bollinger Bands before. What happens is when a stock reaches its peak, it will normally test the outer ranges of the white Bollinger Bands. So once it tests, it never goes really that far out of it, because the Bollinger Band is 2 standard deviations from the norm. So when it tests the high and the low, it will always come back into the Bollinger Band. It will come back to the midpoint, and then it will either fall back to one side or back up to the other. So you can use Bollinger Bands to trade with, but obviously today we're just looking to see the, basically the direction of how SPY is heading. So for a few months now, SPY's just been ranging. So it's been ranging between the 600s up to its all-time highs. So at the moment, people are expecting, with the Bollinger Band still quite high, it could get up to about 616 as a price mark. But obviously, you don't know, because it depends on the news. The SPY is, it's made up of like the top 500, top 500 American stocks. But obviously, it's the top 7, the Magnificent 7, that really holds it up. And NVDA is one of the biggest kind of contributors of, like, which way the SPY will move. Like if NVIDIA explodes, so will SPY. And if NVIDIA doesn't move, then SPY doesn't really do much. So it's kind of like hand in hand. So at the moment, you can see that we're in extended hours. So obviously, we are trading not regular hours. This is kind of like outside of regular hours, because it's European time. Obviously, before that, it was the Asian market that was open. But the good thing to have extended hours on your chart is so you can see the direction of the trade so far. So as it opens into New York, you have an indication of, could it explode upwards or could it go downwards? So that's a good thing to have extended. I tend to like have extended hours on there. I don't normally exclude extended hours trading, just so I can see where the prices is going, because I basically am a price action trend trader, using support and resistance as my guidelines as to how high it can go in a day, how low it can go in a day. And those are like my parameters for trading. Whether I go to the upside today or I go to the downside, that's shown with my support and resistance, or supply and demand, like those white bars that you can see. So as you can see on the 4-hour chart, guys, it's pretty clear that at the moment, we're in the middle of support and resistance. So when the SPY opens, I wouldn't do anything until I realize, is it going up or is it going down, or is it just going to carry on again in between those two ranges? It's really tough to, trade between the ranges unless you're a super scalper. And then obviously you'd be trading in a smaller time frame. So if we go into the 30-minute, we can see that it's trying to make its way up. It's trying to get back to all-time highs. The yellow line and the pink line that you see there are my moving averages. So it's below that at the moment. So once it goes beyond that and breaks, that upper resistance white zone that you see, then we could get back to all-time highs of like 616. So keep an eye on the SPY when you're trading, guys, to know the direction of, the markets coming up, and if it's faster, it's a slow trading day. Yesterday was just choppy and like very slow, as I'll explain to you. So Palantir has been my Valentine stock. As you can see on the 1-hour chart, Palantir has made like crazy moves up. Let me just get rid of some of these price points that I've like marked. So as you can see from that green box, it's basically exploded, and it's been exploding up to all-time highs, and it's like in price discovery mode at the moment. So it hasn't give up. It's like very gallant, this stock. So so it's been going really, really well. And obviously today it's slowing down. There's a pullback, as you can see, in extended hours. We've got the red candles coming in. I'm on Heikin Ashi because when I trade, I like to use Heikin Ashi. It gives me an indication that, so long as it's green, we're good to go. Let's keep going. And then as soon as I see a red candle, then it's time to get out of the trade, because unless it's going to be a pullback like here, as you can see here, unless there's going to be a pullback, it tends to be, you know, a reversal. So because we're hitting resistance, it's in price discovery. It's obviously having to cool down before it goes on its conquest further higher. So it's obviously pulling back at the moment, and it's producing a lot of red Heikin-Ashi. So today could be a red day for Palantir. But anyway, yesterday, had I stuck with my Valentine stock, I would have been in the green. But like I said in my intro, I was seduced by another stock, which has been doing, you know, reasonably well, with, you know, great potential. So I was seduced by NVDA. And I haven't traded NVIDIA for some time, so that's also another good thing. If you haven't traded a stock in some time, kind of, you know, try and understand its patterns before you jump back in. So on the hourly chart, you can see yesterday, February the 18th, you can see how it's kind of opened, and it just kind of, you know, look at it, it just tanked. It literally just tanked the whole day. And then it's tanked to its support, which was initially, you know, which was prior to that resistance for it. But it's obviously found support. So resistance has turned into support here at the 140 level. And look, guys, so I jumped in thinking that NVIDIA was going to carry on going higher, but it didn't. It obviously tanked. And yep, so I'm holding until today because obviously I have an options play. So I can hold it until the end of this week. So depending on the market, it looks as though it's a little bit indecisive. There's two dojis on the hour time frame. So it's a little bit indecisive as to which direction. But that yellow moving average there marks that it's still above the 9-day moving average. So I'll keep an eye out on this. And if it carries on going higher and it does get back to its all-time highs of 150, then I can get out of my trade then, because that was what I was hoping. So anyway, that was my error. I was kind of like, I hadn't traded NVIDIA for some time, so I shouldn't have really like hopped in. I think it was, you know, a seduction that, oh, you see that red downward trend line there. I thought it had broken that and it was going to go higher, but it did. It retested it, but then it just kind of failed the retest. It's what's called a fake breakout, and it's retesting it again today. Look, can you see with those dojis? If it manages to break above this red downward trend line, and it stays above my yellow day moving 9 average, daily moving 9 average trend line, then I've got a good chance that NVIDIA will go back up to 150, back up to its all-time highs for the end of the week. But we'll see. So don't get seduced. If you're already playing a hot stock, stick with it, guys. That's my tip for today. And so that's Palantir and NVIDIA. Let's have a look at Tesla. So Tesla on the day, you can see that it is still trying to make its way upwards to that downward. Can you see that red trend line that I've drawn? That's the one to beat. It needs to get above that, but it has taken that resistance, that white zone of resistance. It's turning it into support. So if it can hold above 350, 353, 354, and it shoots up to that resistance, that red downward trend line, and it breaks above it, then Tesla has a really good chance to break beyond 400 again and go back to its all-time highs of almost 500 for the, you know, the coming months. But as I say, it's got supports, it's got levels of resistance in its way. It's got levels of resistance here starting at about 350, 360, 370. And then it's got the top resistance above once it goes past this first zone. So first of all, it needs to try and break out of that downward trend line that's, you know, looming ahead. So that's Tesla, guys. And another one that people have been talking online about a lot is Big Bear AI. This has had crazy moves. And obviously now with a crazy move, it's in a pullback. So if you were to, you know, buy into these shares, I'd always wait for a pullback to get a better price in, because I think Big Bear AI has really has a lot of good things going for it. So if you can like get into the company with shares, not financial advice, just something that's on the grapevine, then wait for this pullback like you're getting now on this daily chart. If you go into the 4 hour, you can see the pullbacks that there are. When it's red days, that's when you buy in, if you know this stock is, you know, has a really good future. So also try and buy under the VWAP. The VWAP is the volume weighted average, and if you buy under there, it means you're really getting a bargain price. I don't have the VWAP here, but it's under the 50-day moving average, so you're getting a really good bargain with Big Bear AI. Another stock to keep an eye out for is Intel, guys. Intel is like one of your, you know, oldest stocks that are like basically in every computer, in every laptop for, you know, since the personalized computer was born. Intel has been your chip maker, and so it's had its, you know, it's had its glory days. And, you know, with NVIDIA, that's kind of, you know, the new AI kind of go-to for all chips for today in this era. Obviously, Intel's a little bit left behind. So this is why it's been dumping. And obviously, a lot of people said that management needs to change, because obviously it's from an era where Intel was, you know, the big dog, but not now. So that's the reason for, you know, this decline of this amazing like company. And because Trump is in power and he wants to make America great again, because Intel has been running for like decades now, it's got like the infrastructure, guys. So obviously, like the US government don't, you know, they want to help it. So there's a lot of buyers that are jumping in at the moment with, you know, with speculation that they may like, you know, to take over Intel. And hence it's had this amazing, like, you know, rise in its share prices, because they can see a future now for Intel. So Intel is a stock that's you know, heavily being looked at for trading, just for the fact that it's got such good news coming out. So Intel, also keep that on your radar, guys. Another great stock to invest in for the future, if you know, the buyout is good and then new management comes into place, and then it's got a chance, you know, to compete against NVIDIA, AMD, you know, all the big semiconductors that are out there. Because let's be fair, Intel has had a really good run. It's got all the infrastructure you need. It's made in the US, so it's got a damn good future. Okay, moving on, we have American Airlines. Now, American Airlines is one of those stocks that at the moment it's kind of, you know, it's a great long-term play if you're an options trader. So as you can see, it's in a zone where you can start to buy options, you know, if you were bullish about American Airlines going forward, which, as you can see, it's having a good run. So for the week, it's just been going up, and it's having a slight pullback. So this is a good time to enter an options trade where you buy, say, about 3 months out, give yourself plenty of time for American Airlines, you know, to get up to the Bollinger, the highest part of the Bollinger Band, which is about $20 a share. And basically, you give yourself 3 months out. But obviously, you know, once you're in the profit with this, then you can start to close out your trade 45 days before your options start to decay. As mentioned before in one of my videos, I kept talking about Delta. I didn't realize until I, you know, was listening to myself that I meant to say theta. So theta decay is a real thing. When you buy something in terms of options, you always have theta decaying against you, because your contract has an expiration date. If your expiration date is too short, you're going to find that if the stock takes a while to get to the price that you need, you will find that your contract starts to erode over time. And when it erodes, then, you know, the amount of money that you lose per dollar starts to go quite quickly, because it's, you know, it's a leverage thing with options. So you have to move quick. You have to know, like, is the stock going to get to that price within a particular amount of time? So when you play something like American Airlines, it's going to dither-dather. It's not going to get there like instantly overnight. So you have to give yourself at least 3 months out. And so if you would get it, you know, if you would get if you were to buy an option for American Airlines, then obviously at the moment we're February, so March, April, May, if you go out into May's contract and find a suitable price at which you can afford, but obviously knowing that, you know, theta will decay, and if you choose a delta that's between 60 to 70 or 0.6 to 0.7, then you could do quite well with this stock. But as I say, everything is news dependent. So do keep an eye on the news for airlines. Say if there's like a huge boost because of the American economy for, you know, whatever it's doing for all US companies, if that's like something that hits the airline industry, you could have like a massive explosion, and therefore you can get out of your options a lot sooner with the gains a lot faster. Then you don't have to hold your options, and then you can just, you know, kind of sell out of your option at that point, or buy back your option depending if you bought or sold your options to start with. But I can make a separate videos if you're interested about options play. Okay, Tempest AI, this is the next one to talk about, because this is on a really, anything AI is like on a running streak at the moment. It's just kind of like going ballistic. So at the moment, Tempest AI has so as I was saying, guys, Tempest AI is on a running streak and it's had a pullback at the moment. So if you were to come in and purchase at this price, it's definitely a bargain. Like I said, guys, don't buy things at the top. Wait for pullbacks. Pullbacks gives you the opportunity to get into a trade with a better price, so you can get maximum gains out of it. And also, if you were to purchase the stock, you get even better bargain prices. Who isn't like happy about getting a good bargain, eh? Leave your comments down below if everyone's like into bargains, because I know I am for sure. Anyway, this is for entertainment purposes. You do your own, you know, research. So those are my kind of like stocks that I'm looking at for this week. As I say, this is Wednesday, the 19th of February, as you can see there. And this is my kind of update. So chart with me is my kind of like new thing that I'm going to be doing daily to give you guys, you know, an indication of where stocks are heading for today and tomorrow. But I'll be doing this daily for stocks that I'm following or stocks that I'm trading. And if you have some stocks that you're interested in, just comment below, guys, and then I'll, you know, have a look at them for you. Okay, that's it for me for today. Matcha tea and out, guys.